Have you ever heard of the word mind growth? Okay, hear me out really quick. So a lot of people will say mindset, but mindset's a little bit played out. And the way I see it when you say mindset is your mind is kind of like set. Like think about concrete being poured, it gets set, right? Same thing with your mind. So what if you said mind growth, to where literally you're growing your mind 1% better every single day and being a constant student. So that's why I like to say mind growth. In this interview, got interviewed by the awesome organization ISSA, and they asked us a lot of questions around mind growth, building your business, how to beat an unbeatable mind, right? In business as well, all different things about like marketing, sales, if you're a coach, right? So make sure to tune in and watch this, take some notes. All right, here we go.
Welcome back, everyone, for another ISSA Talks. I have a partner spotlight today with me. I have a set of identical twins with me today. I'm a twin, not identical. It's a boy, but super excited to spotlight a company called Dynamic Fit Pros. I have with me Chris and Eric Martinez. Hi, guys.
Hey, Jenny, how's it going? Happy Monday, and thanks for having us on. I know before we hit record, we were joking that Chris and I are wearing the same T-shirt, and literally we didn't even plan it. That's the funny part.
I know, you popped on, Eric, and I said, hi, Chris, and you were like, I'm not Chris. I was like,
story of our life.
Get it all the time.
Yes, I'm sure you do, guys. I mean, because you guys can't see that. Well, you can see them. They do look very, very similar.
Yeah.
And that is by design, right? That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourselves, each of you? So we'll start with you, Eric, and your role with Dynamic Fit Pros.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you guys for having us too. And we're always here just to, add value and just inspire, even if it's one listener. So I'd like to even just share my story, Chris and myself's story, just because I think it's very powerful. And it could, like I said, it could help one person that's going through the same adverse situation. So I'll take you guys back when we were 17 years old, and it was 3 nights before Christmas. We got a knock on the door from a California highway patrol officer, and it was literally like at 2 a.m. And I thought I was having a nightmare. I thought I was dreaming. And what happened was, my father passed away in a car accident. So he was a correctional officer at San Quentin State Prison. We grew up in a really great home. He instilled work ethic, great role model, great provider. He was everything to our family. So again, we lost him 3 nights before Christmas, and we were 17 years old. And I remember seeing my mom just screaming, just bloody murder on the floor when they had told her that he had passed away. So after that, 3 months later, my mom lost her mom due to cancer. So it was like a ton of bricks hit my family. I felt like we even lost part of our mom. She turned to alcohol, to antidepressant pills. And Chris and I, were lost, and we were grieving, and we didn't have any guidance. And more importantly, we didn't have God in our lives. So we went down a dark tunnel and got into a lot of trouble, turned to alcohol as well too. And what really changed our lives was the weight room and fitness. So that was a blessing. So we would go into the weight room, hit the weights, let out our anger and aggression. And we got very fascinated by just body compositional changes, by exercise science, kinesiology, nutrition concepts. And we hired our first mentor, which is Dr. Lane Norton. And we went under his wing, learned so much from him, and did our first bodybuilding show. And then we put 2 and 2 together after some time. We're like, look, we have all this knowledge and we're very competent. How do we build our own online coaching business? And this was early on, like 2010. So, Chris and I took that plunge, started our online business without even, his imperfect action. And the rest was history. Like we served thousands of people all around the world, did very well with that business. The last 4 years, we saw the gap with health and fitness coaches. We're like, they need us to show them how to get through this in a blueprint to get to, a successful online business. So that's what we do now.
That's awesome. So you coach the coach.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Very nice. And then what are your guys' roles with the company now? Chris, what are you doing currently with this group?
Yeah. So right now, we're both just like the CEOs.
He's my assistant.
I get him virtual coffees.
Yeah.
But we're both like the co-founders and CEOs of it. We have a small team under us as well too. We don't have coaches under us, and that's by design as well too. Just because right now Eric and I love like the role of coaching people, and we're just coaches at heart. And I'm not going to be that type of person where I'm going to hand off my students to somebody else that's a coach, and I'm the face of the brand right now. It's nothing against anybody. It's just something that right now, like Eric and I don't want to like really go down that path. We want to really connect our students and coach them up the right way.
That's awesome. And I definitely appreciate that, because sometimes if you want stuff done the right way, right, or the way that you want it done, you have to do it. Exactly. But you guys are the faces of your company in the same role. So I appreciate that about you guys. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So what are you guys finding that coaches are asking for when they first come to see you guys? What are they seeking when they come to you guys?
Yeah, I think the first thing is they're seeking like a blueprint, a pathway, or just a proven system, that will really kind of eliminate some of that fear that they're facing, right? And there's a lot of limiting beliefs that health and fitness coaches have when they're first starting off, right? The fear of failure, fear of getting started, scarce money mindset, comparison syndrome, imposter syndrome. There's so many that they face, but we try to eliminate the fear, right? Because everybody has fear, Jenny, but the big thing that really paralyzes people is the self-doubt. That's what it is. So if they have a self-doubt that there's no proven system, no blueprint, then of course that fear is going to really settle in. They're not going to take action, right? They're going to keep doing what they're doing with just one-to-one coaching or something like that. So we really kind of eliminate the fear. We eliminate the self-doubt by having this, pathway to get them to a six-figure business that we've, really built ourselves, and we've taken over 800 health and fitness coaches through the past 4 years.
And I couldn't agree more with that. And for me, it's us that where we come in is we really instill that belief system, a winning belief system. And that's again with controlling your thoughts, your attitudes and actions. I truly believe you can do that every single day. And really our whole job is to bring awareness to this health and fitness coach and for them to see to know their worth and value, Jenny. I mean, if you really think about it, like health and fitness coaches, I really think that they exceed doctors. If you really know your stuff, if you truly care, I mean, you can change people's lives. You can transform lives. You can educate people's lives. You can make identity shifts to where there's no price tag on that. So I want to see more health and fitness coaches hold themselves high and be like, look, I have all these God-given talents, all these skill sets. Yes, I can help people. I'm a life changer, to where it's like, I also need to value myself and time, and I need to charge a higher premium. None of this like $50 a month, $100 a month type of stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Chris made a great point, though, that you guys have a proven system. And so many people, it's not necessarily that you do the same thing with every client, right? But there's steps. If this, then that, right? If this, then that. And it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it for people and that self-doubt that you mentioned, Chris. So I don't want you guys to give away the farm, but can you tell us a little bit about your program, first of all? And then second of all, how is this different, right? Because it seems like there's so many online coaches out there that want to coach other people. And we actually get people on Facebook all the time who are like, hey, somebody approached me about this program. Has anybody ever heard of it? People are like, run, don't do it, right? Why is your program different? So can you guys tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I could go ahead, Eric.
I'll talk about the experience. So what makes us different.
Okay, cool.
Also, go ahead. No, you go ahead, Chris. Cover what makes our program different.
We'll say something a little funny, Jenny. Like usually when we do podcasts and stuff, we're together and we'll nudge each other or something like that. Means like I'm going to answer first or he's going to answer first. So on Zoom and stuff, it's a little bit like confusing sometimes.
Just start flailing.
I know. I'm going to start going like this, like scratching my head or something.
Right?
Like that. Yeah. But honestly, I'll give you guys kind of like the 5 steps on what we do, like with our pathway to get people to the 10K months, right? So the very first one, it's called mind growth. Okay. So it's kind of going back to what we talked about. If your mind ain't right, your business ain't right. So we kind of coined the word mind growth instead of mindset, because mindset's kind of like, your mindset kind of in stone. Mind growth is like, we're trying to get 1% better every single day. We're constant students. So again, mind growth is everything around like breaking false beliefs, instilling belief, right? Confidence, certainty, all that stuff. The second thing is basically what's called attract. So how do we attract, clients to your brand, right? So that's everything lead generation, everything social media, content, marketing, the whole shebang. The third one is capture. After we attract people, how do we capture them as like clients? So that's what we call like sell by text, getting good at the DMs, your high ticket sales system, your high ticket offer, right? Being good at sales. The fourth step is coaching. So that's your systems, your processes, your adjacent products that come in. How do you become a better coach, right? How do you get people to pay, stay, and refer? And the fifth element is really kind of just like taking that to the next level, which is basically the 3 sources of traffic, right? And we teach basically how do you borrow traffic, how do you sit there and create traffic, and how you sit there and pay for traffic to really get your brand to the next level.
Yeah, and I think what really makes our program different from others, Jenny, is, we do a blend of one-to-one coaching with like a group style too. And I see that's where I just don't agree with a lot of business coaching programs, where it's like they try to scale, they try to do one-to-many, which is great. I get it, but you're throwing so many people into a group to where, again, they don't have like the certainty, they don't have the belief in themselves to take action and implement. So they need some hand-holding, just like a personal trainer does some hand-holding with a client for the first 12 weeks, right? The same thing. It's the same philosophy for a coach, building their business. So we do a blend of one-to-one coaching with group style coaching. So I think that's one thing that really makes us stand out. And then it's just our experience, honestly, like transparency, like 13 plus years in the game of being in the health and fitness industry, a lot of sets and reps. We did this for a long time. So we understand the ins and outs of this. We understand just what it takes. Like we've scaled our online coaching business. We've scaled this fitness business that we have now. So literally, we've invested in ourselves. And I really, truly believe, like, for the listeners, you are your own greatest investment. You really are. And, that's what we did early on. We invested in, fitness coaches, Dr. Lane Norton, Joe Klemzeski, Eric Helms of 3DMJ, because we wanted to understand their craft and become great coaches. Then we were like, okay, we need to learn the business side of things. We need to learn marketing, sales, all that stuff. So we went on and hired coaches for that aspect. So we kept investing in ourselves and our skill sets. So that's what I think just really makes us different, is just our experience.
All right, just give me 1 second. We'll get back to the training. Okay. Now look, if you are looking to enhance your content, if you're looking to really build what we call a content machine, okay, we have this awesome worksheet for you. So just check out the link below and you guys can download this awesome worksheet where there's like 3 or 4 different type of like exercises in there. You guys can really roll out some brand new content for your guys' online audience, your guys' brand, your offer. Okay. Now back to the training.
Can I throw one more in?
Go for it.
Please.
Okay. The third one would be is like, there's a lot of other programs out there in business coaches where they'll just really preach for like people to just go solely online or solely remote, right? We understand that like a lot of like the health and fitness professionals, whether they're personal trainers or nutritionists, they still like the face-to-face and the dynamic of one-to-one. But again, how do you kind of like put yourself in what's called a hybrid coaching model to where you have the best of both worlds, remote and in person? So we teach that and preach that, because social media can get a little bit messy. If you don't have a big following, you don't know what you're doing, but you always have a 3 to 5 mile radius where you can serve people and still take them online as well too.
Yes, guys, I think I might be a triplet. We might be a triplet here because you, Chris, were just inside my brain. I was just about to ask. It sounds like this program is made for people who are in person and hybrid or like online as well, which is
exactly.
Absolutely. So I love that you pointed that out. I think we're related.
Yeah.
I love it. So Chris, speaking of, when people are trying to grow their business online, a lot of people struggle. Like a lot of people just struggle and they're like Facebook, Instagram, right? There's so much more than that. But what do you think are maybe the top 3 or 4 things that people are missing when they're trying to grow an online business specifically?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you look at it like kind of like a triangle, right? The very first side, that's the audience part. So a lot of people aren't clear on their audience. So they'll sit there and just talk to the masses out there. They'll try to throw this wide cast net out and just hope and pray that somebody's going to sit there and get reeled in with their content and their message. Mm-hmm. But you got to be very, specific on who your niche and your avatar is so that you're speaking to them. And then the bottom part right here, that's your messaging. So that messaging has to match the avatar. It's got to match their pain points, their frustrations, their wants, their desires, what keeps them up at night, what are their aspirations, their long-term fears within health and fitness. If you could have that in your copy, if you could have that in your landing pages, your social media, that's going to make you stand out. And then the third part of the triangle is your offer. That offer has to be specific for that avatar and their pain points, right? It can't be just this whole generic thing where you're just going to lose weight or I'm going to help you build muscle mass. It's got to like really solve the emotional pain point of the avatar.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I love the visual of the triangle. We'll try and get that put up on the screen for everybody to see that because that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and just something I'd like to just throw in there too, Jenny. And I know a lot of people might not like this, but I think that, and I'm always going to be honest. And because I was in this position before too, and Chris can relate to, just that I think the biggest mistake a lot of health and fitness coaches they're dealing with is just it's a scarce and poverty mindset. It really is, and like I said, it goes back to just really understanding who you are and how you are your own greatest investment, to where you need to reframe your mindset to, think of like, something as an investment, not a cost. Right. And instead of thinking poverty, think prosperous. So that's what I really think that some of the issues that are just going on with health and fitness coaches. And again, it's just because they don't know any better. It's their belief systems coming from their families, coming from the school system, environments they're around. So they need to think bigger. And I think one of the greatest challenges in life is changing the way you think. So if they can change the way they think, right, they'll start to invest in themselves more. They'll think bigger. They'll take imperfect action, and literally they'll see, the success come with their businesses.
So really, guys, when you guys are talking right now, I just want to point something out for you guys and for the people watching this. You guys are doing Behavior Change 101. And that's awesome. And most programs don't do that. They don't address the person that they're coaching. They just say, here's what you need to do, right? But a lot of times what they're asking you to do is a dramatic shift, or it's all new stuff than what you usually do. So this is behavior change. So I absolutely adore the fact that you guys do your mind growth aspect of it, where you're addressing the fact that you need to change your behaviors and the way you're thinking about this stuff before it's going to be successful. And that's why you guys have had so many hundreds of people be successful with this.
Yeah,
that's a huge aspect of this.
Yeah, and thank you, Jenny. Thanks for pointing out. And it's because it's honest. Like I said, it's the honest truth. We went through this. We had to go through this, right? And it's like, again, like I love certification programs. We have multiple certifications, but again, a lot of certification programs don't teach you those things. They don't. So that's where Chris and I are trying to come in. That's where we're trying to bridge that gap and really solve that issue.
So smart. And it makes a difference, obviously. Look how many people you've had to be successful after going through this. So speaking of, Chris, can you tell us a little bit about, I heard you guys have 2 options or 2 programs that you're offering to ISSA members. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so the very first one's our level 1 program. That's called Online Fitness Clients 2.0. And basically that's the whole kind of design, is like, how do you get more online fitness clients, right? And it's a 6-week program. And it literally teaches you kind of everything that I showed in that triangle model, like how to find your audience, your messaging, your offer, how to get leads in there. So yeah, it's a really awesome program for somebody that's just looking to either add online training and still keep the in-person stuff, or, just build that runway of eventually wanting to go online fully.
Absolutely. And then what's the second option?
The second one's our Accelerator Program. So that one is basically the one that has the 5-step pathway that I went over earlier. And that's strictly designed to literally get someone to a 6-figure business. And it's a longer term program because, again, we're not going to be the type of people where we're going to be like, hey, you're going to build a 6-figure business in 60 days or 90 days. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take like at least about 8 to 12 months, So if that's something that you want to do and you're very patient, you want to build your business the right way, make less mistakes, less pain, less agony, then the Accelerator Program is a good fit.
I like it. So 2 options, a shorter term and a longer term. Both will get you going, which is great. But I feel like when most people go through that online one first and then move into the Accelerator.
Sure. Yeah, that's definitely something that people do.
Yeah, sounds like a good path for me. That's awesome. So guys, do you have any, if somebody was stuck in an elevator with you, not a bad place to be, just saying, but if somebody was stuck in an elevator with you too, Eric, what one tip would you give somebody if they said, man, I'm trying to grow my fitness business? What's your tip?
That's a great question. And I'll even just talk about what I talked about earlier to our students on our Monday Mind Growth call. And it was just literally to understand that opportunities are created, they're not given. So it's up to you to create the opportunities in life and in your business. They're not going to just fall in your laps. You're not going to build a successful business just manifesting it and waking up, or, you have to put in the work. You have to take imperfect action. And I challenge you guys, why not now? Like, today is the day. If you really think about it, every day, right, is a day closer to the finale. We're either growing or we're dying. So, today is the day. What is really holding you back? What fear, what uncertainty, what doubt? Like, literally, you guys have to get a hold of that and understand that you guys are health and fitness coaches, that you guys are game changers, you guys are life changers, that you guys have skill sets to where once you burst past that fear, uncertainty, and doubt and understand, what's like possible, then it's game over. Sky's the limit. So just take imperfect action is my best piece of advice.
I like that term, imperfect action, because it's never going to be perfect, right? That's awesome.
Exactly.
What about you, Chris? What would you say to me in the elevator?
Jenny, you expect me to top that?
I know, that was a mic drop moment, right?
It's because he's a minute older, he went first, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, what I would say is something like similar to that. Mine's more around urgency. I'm very big on urgency. Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite quotes it's by Ben Franklin. He says that most men die at age 25. We just don't bury them until they're 75. So that goes for men and women, flat out. And that just means that you don't have all the time in the world, right? Tomorrow's not guaranteed. So you have to have more urgency and almost like treat it like today's like your last day on earth. And don't sit there and have so much fear. Like, go out there and conquer your dreams and your goals and serve people, because just people don't have enough urgency. They just think that they have another month to do it. They have next year to do it, right? And it's just not enough of sense of urgency to get stuff done.
Absolutely. I love that. And again, I'm going to point it out, guys, because I can't with you too. I love that you are starting with the individual sitting in front of you, right? Have a sense of urgency. Change your mindset. Don't have a mindset that's set in stone. Have a mind growth mindset. You guys are talking about things that are going to help change people's lives, not just with the way they run their business, but hopefully this will change the way that they build relationships with people, the way they interact with people in general, right? The things that they think are possible for their life, even outside of their business. So I am obsessed. I absolutely love the way that you guys approach this. And I notice, guys, they haven't said much about, they're not going to teach you about sets and reps and tempo and like all the variables and exercise selection and stuff. They're assuming you already know that, and you do. You guys are all confident fitness professionals. Like they said, you know what you're doing in that respect. They're here to help you fill in the gaps for the things that you are missing. And they have a lot of experience, 13 plus years, he said, of experience to help you get there. So this is an amazing opportunity. So I love that. Guys, where can our viewers find you guys, or where can we find out more?
Yeah, and just first and foremost, thank you again, Jenny, for just having us on and just all the great questions. This has been great. But easiest place to find us, guys, is our Instagram at Chris and Eric Martinez. A lot of good resources in our link tree there. Then just go to dynamicfitpros.com, and there's a lot of great testimonials, case studies to inspire you guys. And we have a free video on that 6-step pathway to 10K months. It's a free video. It's very informative. And the last place, we have a podcast, almost 500 episodes in. It's called the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast. We're dropping gems on there all the time. We have like tons of like high pioneer fitness influencers, entrepreneurs. So I would say those 3 places.
Love it. Well, we will make sure to link all of those in the description for this episode. And you guys are now a partner with ISSA, so you're not getting rid of us. We will link our partner page for our students as well. Anybody who's interested in getting a hold of you guys, we will throw that in the description as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Jenny. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk a little offline because I think I might have some opportunities where you'll get to see these two a little bit more. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this made a difference. Get started. Have some urgency, right? Why not now? Why not you? So thank you guys for watching. And thank you again, Eric and Chris, for joining me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys soon.
All right, I hope that whole discussion we had around mind growth really helped you kind of just like callous your mind to develop an unbeatable mindset in business, okay? So now the next thing, we talked about that pathway, right? If you're a health and fitness coach and you want to build a 6-figure business, check out this whole video training we did on the 6-step pathway to build a 6-figure coaching business.